Imagine, you're on a ship so massive that a small town could fit on it. All around you, nothing but water, and floating on that water is a gigantic iron fortress. Its name, the world's largest container ship. It's so long that if you stood it upright, it would tower over the Eiffel Tower. But the real question is, what's life like on such a colossal vessel? Do people here read newspapers in the morning and sip tea on the balcony in the evening? Or is every day a battle against the waves, the storms, and the most dangerous enemy of all, loneliness? From your phone to your t-shirt, almost everything you own has likely passed through a container ship. But have you ever wondered about the people who work on these ships? What conditions do they live in? How many days do they spend stranded in the middle of the ocean? No internet, no family, just endless water. What happens when 30-foot waves crash during a storm? What happens when African pirates attack the ship? And yes, if one day these container ships suddenly stopped, what all would come to a halt in your life? In this video, we'll take you inside that ship, where there's no mall, no signal, no social media, just machines, steel, and human courage. So stay tuned till the end, because we'll show you a real video clip that'll make you realize just how mysterious, dangerous, and unseen this ocean world really is. Now, let's set sail on a journey where every day brings a new story. Now you must be wondering, okay, but what does a container ship even look like? So listen carefully. The world's largest container ship, ever Ace, is nearly 400 meters long. That means, if you stood it upright, it would be taller than the Empire State Building. Not just that, it can carry 23,992 containers. To give you an idea, if you lined up all those containers on land, they could stretch from one city to another. But here's the big question. Such a massive ship, carrying so many containers. Who runs it? Do 500 people work on board? Nope. This gigantic ship needs only 20 to 25 crew members to operate. Shocked? Well, this isn't a luxury cruise ship with dancing decks or swimming pools. It's a floating factory. Everyone on board has a specific duty. The captain, who commands the entire operation. The chief engineer, who maintains the massive engine and machinery. The deck officers, who track the route and manage the container placements. The cook, who keeps the crew's bellies full. Work starts as early as 6 a.m. Engine inspections, container loading reports, weather alerts, and route planning. And the biggest headache? Load balance. Because if containers are stacked more on one side, the ship could tilt, dangerously. And then, a slight lean in the ocean can lead to full-blown disaster within hours. On a ship like this, even a small mistake can lead to millions in losses, or worse, cost human lives. Now just imagine, in a place where every day is packed with such high-stakes risk, how do people survive there? How do they live? That's what we'll explore in the next part. The raw truth of life at sea. Now just imagine, you're surrounded by nothing but ocean, and you're living on a moving iron city. No mobile network, no Netflix, no Instagram, just the constant hum of machines, rows upon rows of containers, and the eerie whisper of the sea in the darkness of night. There are no Mondays here, no Sundays. Every day is the same. Work, surveillance, and uncertainty. A normal day begins at 6 a.m. First comes reporting at the bridge, then weather analysis, radar checks, engine health reports, and full ship inspections. Every second here is precious, because a tiny mistake can turn into a disaster. Sometimes crew members have to work 12 hours straight, with no weekends, no breaks, for weeks. Now the question is, how do people live alone for so many days? Many sailors go 6 months without seeing their families. Video calls, forget about it. In the middle of the ocean, forget 4G. Sometimes you don't even get a single signal bar. And in this loneliness, the most dangerous thing creeps in: mental stress. There are times when a crew member falls ill, and a hospital is nowhere in sight. That's when the ship's engineer or captain becomes the doctor. One sailor once said, "Our hearts are at sea, but our souls remain trapped at home." Can you imagine what it feels like when 20-foot waves rise around you, the ship is rocking, and you still have to check the containers on deck? And then comes the scariest part, when the ship passes through pirate-infested waters. Yes, real pirates. How do sailors handle such threats? Are there weapons on board? Do they ever have to face armed encounters? You'll find out in the next segment. where fear and courage are truly tested. Now, close your eyes and imagine. You're on a ship passing near Somalia, Africa, a region so dangerous that every major shipping company in the world calls it the pirate zone. It's 2 a.m. The darkness is so intense, you can't see a thing ahead. Suddenly, a small boat appears on the radar, speeding toward the ship. There are 5 to 6 people on it, and in their hands, AK-47 type weapons. Yes, these are real pirates. Now the question is, do container ships have weapons? Are there security guards on board? Sometimes yes. Large ships have armed security teams deployed, but most of the time, the crew only has anti-piracy drills and a few sound guns for defense. In some situations, the ship goes into complete blackout mode, meaning all lights are turned off. The speed is increased, just to deceive the pirates. But pirates aren't the only danger. Sometimes the ocean itself becomes the enemy. Have you heard of typhoons or cyclones? They aren't just winds, they're moving disasters. Once near Japan, a ship like the Ever Given got caught in a massive storm. 40-foot-high waves were tossing the ship like it was a toy. The scariest part? When containers start falling overboard, one by one. Yes, they fall into the ocean. Every year, over 1,000 containers are lost at sea. Some filled with electronics, some with cars, and sometimes even with chemicals. And if a container carries dangerous gas, it could be lethal for the entire ship. Now imagine an explosion in the middle of the ship, or the engine suddenly failing. What happens then? At that moment, the crew risks their lives. The chief engineer has to go down into the engine room, where the temperature can rise to 122 degrees Fahrenheit, 50 degrees Celsius. No AC, just heat, smoke, and danger. But this is the reality of life at sea, where every day is lived under the shadow of death. And still, there are no complaints. So, what is it that keeps bringing these sailors back to the ocean, again and again? The answer lies in the next part, where we'll explore the emotions, relationships, and inner spirit of those who live this extraordinary life. Now, a question for you. Could you live this kind of life? Weeks at sea, away from your family, fighting storms, and delivering goods to the world? If yes, then you have the spirit of a true sailor. And if not, at least now you know the struggles hidden behind these giant container ships. If you liked this video, make sure to smash that like button and tell us in the comments, what else would you like to know about these ships? And yes, don't forget to subscribe, because next time, we're heading to one of the most dangerous places in the ocean, the Bermuda Triangle, where countless ships have mysteriously disappeared. See you in the next video. Until then, stay curious, stay safe.